In the headlines, 1 dead, 6 injured in Jigawa building collapse. Chinese man stabs 23-year-old Nigerian lover to death in Kano. 1 person injured in Niger tanker explosion. Away from Nigeria, thousands queue to see Queen Elizabeth's coffin despite warning of 16-hour time. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. At least 1 person has been confirmed dead following an early morning building collapse in Birniwa local government area of Jigawa State. The police public relations officer of Jigawa State Command, Lawan Shisu Adam, who confirmed the incident, said that it occurred early Saturday morning at Bursali village in the Birniwa local government area of the state. The PPRO said that the 6 other persons that were thought to have died were only unconscious and are now receiving treatment along with 1 other person. In a related development, 10 persons have been rescued after a canoe capsized in Kafing Hausa local government area of the state. Cases of boat mishaps have been a recurring decimal in the state in the last weeks, with as many as 5 cases each have left at least 19 people dead. The federal government, through the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, has appealed to authorities in various states to brace up for more floods. Director General of the agency, Clement Nze, who gave the alert in a statement on Friday in Abuja, asked the states to take necessary measures to prevent the ugly flooding menace of the past years. Nigeria, according to him, is now in the peak of flooding season, and there is a need for the government, especially at the state and local government levels, to intensify and set up efforts to avert related disasters in their domains. The NIHSA chief asked authorities in the 13 states that fall on the main course of rivers Niger and Benue system to put in place adequate measures and enhance preparedness to mitigate any eventual flooding and accompanying disasters. The affected states include Kebbi, Niger, Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, Edo, Delta, Anambra, Cross River, Rivers, and Bayelsa. A yet-to-be-identified Chinese man has allegedly stabbed his lover, a 23-year-old, to death at Jambulo quarters in Kumboto local government area of Kano. The incident reportedly happened around 10 p.m. on Friday after the suspect came to visit the deceased, identified as Umakusulum Sani Buhari, at her parents' house located adjacent National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency in the area. While the reasons for what transpired between the duo that led to the unfortunate event remain sketchy, she was confirmed dead by a doctor after she was rushed to the hospital the same night. Abubakar Mustafa, a neighbor to the deceased, said that the deceased, a divorcee, entered into a relationship with the Chinese national after her failed marriage. The police public relations officer in Kano, Abdullahi Haruna Kiawa, has confirmed the incident. Policemen in Katsina have killed 1 suspected armed robber, arrested 1 and recovered a Toyota Land Cruiser vehicle. The suspected robbers met their Waterloo during a stop-and-search operation by the police operatives at Koza village in Mayadua, local government area of Katsina State. Koza village is on Daura Kwangwalam Road, 5 kilometers away to Niger Republic border. Abdullahi Amari completes the report.
With registration number ABC 165HP Abuja. Value of the vehicle is not yet known. Our detectives, operatives from anti-kidnapping unit, gave this hoodlum a hot pursuit.
The suspected robbers, sensing danger, engaged the police operatives in a gun battle but the gallant police officers were lucky to overpower them, killing one, apprehending another. The recovered Toyota Land Cruiser, currently in the custody of Katsina Police Command, was said to have been stolen from Abuja. The police said the suspected armed robbers used a sophisticated device which distorts any electronic devices from tracking the vehicle.
Armed robber is using this, the network of your handsets, the network of the vehicle, the tracker and whatever will not work. And if, for example, they are entering into your house to rob you, this is how they do it. You can see how they place it here. And when they entered, you cannot be able to make phone calls either to the police, to your neighbors, to whosoever, so that somebody will come and assist you. And
similarly, in the custody of Katsina Police Command is a suspected trafficker and drugs dealer, Abdurazak Ajibide. The police said they have arrested the suspect with 180 carefully packaged parcels of dried leaves suspected to be cannabis sativa.
at where exactly were you arrested?
At Welcome to Katsina.
Welcome to Katsina. When you are about taking delivery?
When they were transloading to the other motor that is coming from Niger side.
Okay. So where are they taking this quantity?
Where are they taking it to? They told me they were taking it to Niger side. I did not know.
To Niger.
Because I did not know.
How much? What is the value of these dry leaves? How much?
I did not know how much he bought it.
The police said that the expected destination of the intercepted parcels of the Indian hemp is somewhere in Niger Republic, hence re-echoing calls on the public to assist in fighting enemies of Nigeria until they are defeated.
Immediately our operatives went after him and some members of his syndicates. They succeeded in arresting him, while the other one, including the driver, one Shuaibu, escaped. Shuaibu is from Niger Republic, and according to him, you will interview him, he said they are going to take this quantum of weeds on transit to Niger Republic.
For the remaining two members of the syndicate now at large, the police give assurances that they will be arrested to face the music according to the laws of the land. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The Commissioner of Police in Zamfara State, Kolo Yusuf, has reiterated the determination of the Zamfara State Police Command to keep on doing everything within the ambit of the law to end the lingering insecurity bedeviling the state. The Commissioner of Police gave the assurance through the Police Public Relations Officer, Mohammed Shehu, while parading 10 suspects arrested by the police tactical operatives during an intelligence-led operation conducted in some criminal hideouts in Gusau and Safi local government areas, respectively. The arrested suspects are members of a notorious syndicate of informants who collaborate with bandits to terrorize peace-loving people of Gusau, Kauranamoda, Safi, Munguru local government areas and environs. The command also arrested a suspect, Zainu Lawal, who was caught in possession of arms, 4 rounds of cartridge, military camouflage uniform, fake military ID card, and other dangerous weapons. Also arrested are 2 notorious bandits informants, Al-Hassan Lawal and Umar Namaru, who supply motorcycles, foodstuff, negotiate and deliver ransom to the bandits in the forest. The police spokesperson said that all suspects will be charged to court for prosecution upon completion of the investigation. A tanker loaded with premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, in the early hours on Saturday exploded in Badegi town in Kacha local government area of Niger State, injuring a roadside tea seller. Badegi town, which is one of the major towns along Lambata-Bida Road, also serves as a resting place for heavy-duty drivers plying the north from south. The road, which has been in deplorable condition over the years, was made worse in the last few weeks by persistent rainfall, causing heavy traffic that stretched over 50 kilometers. The incident, it was gathered, was due to leakage from the vehicle. The police in Ebonyi State on Saturday dispersed supporters of the Obedient Movement who gathered at the Pastoral Center, Abakaliki, for 1 million march for the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. The incident caused both human and vehicular traffic on the popular Old Enugu Road in the capital on Saturday morning. One of the supporters, Steve Ogama, said that aside dispersing and tear-gassing the supporters, about 5 of his colleagues have been arrested by the police.
This is intimidation. The world is watching. The world is watching.
Now, the African Democratic Congress has expelled Dumebi Kachukwu, its presidential candidate, from the party over anti-party activities. The decision of the party to suspend Kachukwu and 7 other members was conveyed in a statement issued on Saturday by the national chairman of the party, Ralph Nwosu. The presidential candidate had supported the call for Nwosu to resign after holding office for 17 years. In the statement, the chairman said that a 7-member disciplinary panel found Dumebi guilty of all the allegations leveled against him. Kachukwu was expelled along with 7 others, namely the Kogi State chairman of the party, Kingsley Oga, its state chairman for Edo, Kennedy Odion, Kabiru Hussaini, Alaka William, Bello Isiaka, Musa Hassan, and Clement Ehiato. Members of the Olu caucus in the Imo State House of Assembly has disowned the spokesperson of the Conference of United Political Parties, Ikenga, Imo Ogonchinyere, over his allegation of inflation of voters' register, especially in Omuma, the home of the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma. The Ita-Party caucus, which is the largest caucus comprising members from the 12 local government areas of Olu Zone, is also home to Idiotu North, where the CUPP spokesman is from. Speaking at a press conference in Owerri on Saturday, the chairman of the caucus and deputy speaker of Imo State House of Assembly, China Wanyao, said that the caucus was dismayed by what it described as the baseless, spurious, and irresponsible allegation by Ogochinyere against the governor. The caucus also expressed dismay that only Imo was singled out in their investigation, whereas the report mentioned 22 states. In the text of the press briefing, the caucus said that the allegation is that the voters list at Omuma has been inflated to give undue advantage to APC in next year's general elections. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. Taraba community decries poor maintenance of drainages. Details of this and more after the break.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories again. 1 dead, 6 injured in Jigawa building collapse. Chinese man stabs 23-year-old Nigerian lover to death in Kano. Now, elsewhere, there's an uneasy calm among parents in Plateau State whose children will be resuming school next week. This is due to the rumored hike in school fees rising as a rest of inflation that has affected the price of goods and services nationwide. Dixon Adams is in this report taking a look at the situation that has left parents wondering how to meet up with the cost of schooling their kids in their present schools or to change to cheaper ones. His report.
The Plateau State government recently disclosed that the official date for resumption of academic activities in the state for both public, private, primary and secondary schools is Monday, 19 September 2022. Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong, who ordered the reopening of the schools across the state, said all boarding school students are to resume on Sunday, 18 September 2022, a day to the Monday resumption. All zonal and area directors of schools were also directed to ensure strict compliance to the resumption date. The directive, which should ideally be a welcome development for parents to see their children return to school, is however making parents anxious as they try to meet up with the financial needs of their children. This is worsened by the fact that there are feelers from different quarters that school preparators are planning to increase their fees.
The rising cost of things in the markets, on the society, coupled to the resumption of school fees.
We have about 10 days, 11 days before the school resumes. And some of us who are parents are wondering what will happen, especially with the information we are getting that proprietors are getting ready to increase school fees because of a high cost of this, high cost of that.
Meanwhile, schools have started making preparations for resumption, beginning with teachers' pre-resumption workshop. One of such took place at Ido Kia School in Jos. The workshop focused on pre-term plan, lectures, presentations, among others.
We have consideration for parents because we also go to the same market with them. We buy things together. We also pass through all the challenges. We consider such kind of things, and as a school, we maintain a low increase of school fees.
My advice to parents this morning is that things are very hard, not just school fees. Other things, when you go to market, you see a lot of issues going on. I advise parents that they should take things easy, cut it according to your size.
Stakeholders in the education sector said if nothing is done to address the inflation, the number of out-of-school children will further increase.
Northeast Governors Forum has called on the federal government to accelerate the execution of the Mambila hydroelectric project. In a communique issued at the end of the 7th meeting of the forum held on Friday, the Northeast governors decried the epileptic state of power supply in the region. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The 7th meeting of the Northeast Governors Forum focused on development and security of the region. After hours of deliberation, the governors reached a consensus on factors affecting the development of the region. Governor Maimala Buni of Yobe State, who joined the meeting after the opening ceremony, read the communique.
The forum again expressed concern on the current state of power supply in the Northeast region, which at present receives less than 5% of national allocation of grid energy, while accounting for 14% of the population and 30% of land mass. While noting the direct association between energy security and high level of poverty and our GDP status, It called on the federal government to introduce innovative strategies for investing in the production of comparatively cheaper hydropower and renewable energy. Related to this, the federal government is called upon to accelerate the execution of the Mambila hydroelectricity project.
The governors also expressed concern over the effect of flooding to the people of the region.
The forum expressed grave concern about the devastating effect of flooding, which is destroying homes and livelihood, including road infrastructures. The forum therefore calls on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, direct its relevant agencies to immediately deploy all necessary interventions to ameliorate the situation in the affected areas.
In the area of business, the forum called for the revival of the Northeast Joint Trade Fair to boost commercial activities in the region.
The forum noted the need to harness the vast untapped resources of the sub-region by fostering integration in commerce as well as holding trade fairs with a view to attracting foreign investments. Forum therefore urged the Northeast Council of Chambers of Commerce to revive the Northeast Joint Trade Fair and commodity markets to stimulate economic activities.
The 8th meeting of the Northeast Governors Forum is scheduled to hold in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, on 25 November 2022. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Some residents of Turaki A ward of Jalingo local government area of Taraba State have decried the poor maintenance of drainages and indiscriminate dumping of refuse on water channels by local marketers in the area. They are therefore calling on the government to come to their aid and help get rid of the refuse to avert an environmental health disaster. The report.
The residents who lamented that some of the blocked drainages have led to floods and other environmental hazards also appealed to local marketers to desist from dumping refuse and waste materials on water channels. One of the residents, who identified himself as Usman Abba, spoke with our correspondent in Hausa.
I and my team of other residents were assigned by the government to clear the drainages. My name is Usman Abba. My house is nearby. This flood was caused by the indiscriminate dumping of refuse by traders in the market nearby. The heap of refuse was dumped by the traders, and when the rain falls, it blocks the drainage, break it and push the water into the people's house. I saw when the water forced its way into our homes. This happening in the city were under the watch of the government, something the government could have stopped before it escalated. I wonder why the government failed to act. I was among the group of residents who reported the matter to the government, and no action was taken until this happened.
They are appealing to the government to provide waste bins around the area and also designate appropriate places where refuse and other waste materials could be properly dumped. A visit round the community to ascertain the nature of the drainages and the damage caused following their poor maintenance reveals that several houses were affected, while work is in progress on some of them.
I am a resident of this area. The indiscriminate dumping of refuse by the people in our drainages and waterways caused the flood. The bad environment practice is not good. We have made appeal to the government to take action, and they are working on it. The flood was caused by the heap of refuse dumped by traders in the market. The bad environmental practices by the traders have caused these damages to our houses.
When contacted, the caretaker chairman of Jalingo local government area, Dr. Aminu Jauro Hassan, stated that the situation was a source of concern to the leadership of the local government and assured the people that his administration will get rid of the menace in no distant time.
Allowing us as a council to take proper and formal decision on how to go about solving the problem. But I want to assure you, and I want to assure the good people of Jalingo local government, who serve as a seat of government of Taraba State, the assurances of our councils putting in measures to ensure that that menace is brought to the barest minimum.
Many in the area are hopeful that such assurances will translate to physical action to ensure the safety of lives and property in the area.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, will be representing Nigeria at a number of events on Sunday And on Monday, during the state funeral for the late Queen Elizabeth II in the United Kingdom, Oshibajo departed Abuja on Saturday and will join members of the royal family, world leaders, including members of the Commonwealth, heads of states, governors general, and prime ministers and foreign royal families at the ceremonies, including the funeral service scheduled to hold at the Westminster Abbey on Monday. A statement from the senior special assistant to the vice president on media and publicity, Laolu Akonde, says that ahead of the service, the vice president will be among guests and dignitaries to be received by King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla at a reception in Buckingham Palace on Sunday. Earlier on Sunday, the Vice President will hold a bilateral meeting with the UK Foreign Secretary, James Cleverly. The Vice President will return to Nigeria after Monday's state funeral. And away from Nigeria, people flocked to central London to join a queue feeling past the coffin of the Queen Elizabeth II on Saturday, despite a government warning to stay at home to avoid standing in line for hours to see the late monarch's lying in state. Tens of thousands of people have already filed past the coffin in the steady, solemn stream, queuing for hours through the dark and cold to pay their respects to Britain's longest reigning monarch. By mid-morning, the Culture Ministry said that the waiting time stood at up to 16 hours to reach Westminster Hall to take part. Earlier, the ministry had said that it will pause entry to the queue if demand became too high. The Queen's grandchildren will stand in vigil around her coffin in London on Saturday, hours after their parents held a vigil in the Palace of Westminster. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You are watching. Follow us across all social media platforms. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.